Hi guys, welcome back to The Sportsman, and we're going to do a video talking about the situation currently unfolding at Sheffield Wednesday right now. I think it's all going wrong at Hillsborough. No one knows what Dejphon Chansiri is trying to achieve, and at this current moment in time, players could even go on strike. It's a really sad situation. We all think they're guaranteed to get relegated. Ben, where on earth do we start with this?
Hopefully with the owner selling the club and Sheffield Wednesday having some hope in the division next season. I mean, a lot of people will point fingers at the EFL. I can wind you back to a playoff final with Sheffield Wednesday losing to Hull. Had they won that game, maybe we wouldn't be sitting here, but if my uncle had wheels, he's a bike, do you know what I mean? And it's just been a ridiculous 4 or 5 years, hasn't it? And I just hope that they'd brought brokers in, hadn't they? The supposed adults in the room to do the deal, and so that these silly games of brinksmanship that Mr. Chansiri tends to play, holding everything off to the very last minute, can't be played. And it looked like something was happening. But unfortunately, every time I show any signs of optimism of something good happening, then a stand gets closed or some wages don't get paid or the manager leaves. And I think it just needs to be very basically sell the club and we can have a sensible conversation about a future for Sheffield Wednesday that's probably going to be a reset in League One next year, unfortunately.
I should also say we're recording this a week before the season starts, and this is obviously a very fast-moving situation. It looks like the players haven't been paid their July wages. Daniel Rolzald left the club. Pedersen's been announced as the new manager. Is there a way out of this at all, Connor, for Sheffield Wednesday?
It doesn't sound like it, no, and it's pretty brutal when it comes to it, really. I've got a couple of contacts inside the club as well that they've not been paid yet for this month. It feels like it's just a continuing problem. Their regulation needs to be passed at some point, not legislation. I've mentioned this previously, but it's a real ongoing issue. I don't see the end point here. I don't know where this finishes. There was conversation in the summer months about an American consortium coming in. He was moving them about. It didn't quite get to the agreement stage. At one point, it looked like it was getting there. Sheffield Wednesday fans were getting excited. Then it ends up not going through. As Ben's quite rightly said on a previous show as well, when it comes to the North Stand closing, I think ironically it's called the Chansiri Stand or something, something similar to that. But it's just chaos at Sheffield Wednesday. I don't know what his motive is. I mentioned again on another show, I've got a little thing down here. Some would rather burn their toys than let others play with them. And I think it's sort of a perfect place to end there with my input.
Yeah, very good. It's just such a sad situation, isn't it, Dave? I think they've got 10 senior players as we're talking above the age of 21. There's just no chance of survival, really, on the pitch, is there?
Basically not, no. The underlying numbers weren't great from a defensive sense as well last season, so that is even worse. But how many times is going to happen? There's so many clubs we could speak of. The likes of Reading and Charlton are probably the two biggest in recent years. We've got Birmingham, we've got Blackburn. There's so many clubs where you look at the ownership and you think, how have they allowed to do that?
So is this, Dave, is this where, if you had the bond put down by the owners when they bought it, where you're saying, right, you're suspended and we're going into the money that you've put down as bond and we're going to run the club for 6 months while you say, is this where you would put that regulation in?
Can you buy a house without having a mortgage or money, right, locked up? No, you can't. So why do we allow football clubs to be bought by all these organised... Derby, another example. There's so many examples over the last 10, 15 years, and surely there's a point where we have to go, wait a minute, let's start again. Let's rebuild this regulation, let's rebuild this structure, and let's make it a point of having proper owners. Because that's what we're all football fans at the end of the day, and if you can't go and watch a football club at the weekend, that could kill your week, that could kill what you're doing in your life, right? So why are we still messing about in this situation? We just got another example. How many more do we want?
I think Morecambe's another one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Morecambe's struggling. It's just where does it end? It's just getting a bit ridiculous now. I think with Sheffield Wednesday, the saga is just... What do you do if you're a Wednesday fan? How do you turn around and cope with this every single season? It feels down, doesn't it, at the minute?
I think with Bury as well, obviously going completely bust. It seems like Morecambe are going that way. It feels like there's a situation where an owner can get hold of a club without the money. I'm not sure that's been the situation with Sheffield Wednesday.
He put loads in. In fact, he put loads in and spent it. Jordan Rhodes for 10 million and Gary Hooper for 5 million.
Loved him at the start. They all loved him at the start.
And if he wins the playoff final, there's your 100 million quid TV money. But
you're gambling. That's a massive gamble.
Well, that's true.
Humongous gamble.
But it's not that he doesn't have money and he hasn't put it in. It's just been hapless.
But then goes back to Leeds United with, in the 90s. That was one of the first examples of someone overspending and not playing it the right way. They're like short-term wins versus long-term gains. And this isn't a business. It's a football club. And it should be treated in that way with respect. And that's something that he hasn't shown. He's shown, we'll throw some money at the start. Yeah, fantastic. Fans are happy. You're going to gamble and try and get into the Premier League. That's very tough. We're speaking about all the teams that could get promoted this season. That's one of the hardest things to do in football, in the whole world of football. So we need to be more in terms of longevity and commitment to having a club for a longer period than being like, let's gamble 10 million.
And he gambled at the worst time he could have with PSR coming in and the parachute money going up in line with the Premier League.
He gambles at a time where regulation starts to come in and then the parachute money comes up.
Well,
it's just crazy.
To use your housing analogy, he's done the mortgage before the mortgage rate goes up 5x or whatever.
Variable as well.
Yeah.
I think the issue as well is almost the money he has put in the past, because now he's valuing the club at like £100 million.
Got no assets. I've got no assets.
That's the issue though, because he now sees, I've put this money in, I want to get the money out. And no one in the right mind is going to pay anywhere near that figure for Sheffield Wednesday.
Well, he's not going to get it if it goes into admin, is he?
If it goes into administration, if they go down to League One, all he's doing is, as you say, burning his toys rather than selling them on Vinted.
And there's the
Do you like that one?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah,
eBay, Amazon, Vinted one. But it's the fan angle as well, which is brutal as well. He's coming out and saying, if you want to buy the club off me, you can all put money together and try and buy me out, and it's baiting the fans out consistently, whilst being probably the most sensitive owner in football.
PR has not been good.
It's been horrific, absolutely horrific. So you've got to feel for Sheffield Wednesday, and we all start the season, don't we? And we've all got hope for our teams.
Everyone's getting in the playoffs, yeah.
Yeah, and everybody's excited, whatever team you are. And you look at Sheffield Wednesday, and you think, what have they got? 10 senior players registered or whatever it is. I'm not sure, but
even Barry Bannon is linked with a move away, and I think when he goes, it's.
Do you remember when we had Blackpool, Simon, and the Oystons pulled all the Premier League money out, and it was basically it was farcical. It was a 23-team league, And Bolton a few years ago, when they had to play all the youth players, and it's silly.
Coventry still didn't beat Bolton. They're about 16-year-olds. And I went and watched us draw 0-0 with them. Useless. Anyway, no, it's
always brings Coventry back.
It's in the contract of the show, actually. Anyway, very, very sad situation going on at Sheffield Wednesday. We do hope it is resolved as quickly as possible and a sale of the club goes through. Get your thoughts in the comments down below. What's Chansiri doing, basically? I want to know your thoughts. Like and subscribe while you're down there, and we'll see you next time.